Picture this. You open your banking app on a Sunday night. 1. Checking account says $732.14. Rent for $700 is coming out tomorrow. You do the math in your head and realize, that's, gas, maybe one grocery run, and that's it. Notification bubbles stack up at the top. Credit card due. Utility bill. Your payment is past due. Your chest gets tight, but you keep scrolling anyway. Swipe. Screen 2. Savings says $12,487. Not terrible. You've been trying. But behind that number, student loans, a car payment, a couple of cards that never quite go down. You're not broke, but you're also one bad week away from swiping the card and praying it goes through. Swipe again. Screen 3. Total net worth, LUPEP, across checking, savings, 401k. Maybe a boring index fund quietly adds up to $103,562. Same job title, same city. But that version of you goes into Monday with a completely different nervous system. Same world, same problems, completely different level of panic. Here's the real question. Which screen feels like your life right now? And maybe more important, do you actually know what it would take to move from screen 1 to screen 3? Because there is a very specific money milestone where this constant low-grade fear starts to loosen its grip. It's not when your salary hits 6 figures. It's when your net worth quietly crosses your first $100,000. If money has ever made you feel behind, embarrassed, or one unexpected bill away from everything crashing, this video is for you. Welcome to Mie Invests channel, where smart money moves start here. Subscribe for clear financial strategies. Here's the big idea I want you to sit with. Your first $100,000 is not about feeling rich. It's the line where your life stops being controlled by every single bill and starts being driven by your choices. And I'm not talking about making $100K a year. I mean $100K in net worth times what you own minus what you owe. That could be a mix of cash, 401k, Roth IRA, boring index funds, minus your debts. It's not a magic number the universe picked. It's a logical milestone where two things finally click at the same time. You've built enough of a buffer that one bad month doesn't nuke your wife. Your investments are finally big enough that growth actually shows up in real dollars, not just loose change. Most people think $100K is reserved for people who are either financial geniuses or just lucky. But for a lot of regular middle-class Americans, it's not a fantasy number. It's a long-term project with a timeline and a plan, not a lottery ticket. Think about it like this. Two people both make $80K a year in the same city, same office, same job title, same annoying group chat at work. Person A has basically $0 net worth after debts. One missed paycheck, and they're in panic mode. Person B has quietly built around $100K over a decade of not perfect but consistent decisions. Same income, totally different experience of Monday morning. Person A is thinking, if I lose this job, I'm done. Person B is thinking, if this job goes away, it'll suck, but I'll be okay. I've got runway. That's the gap this video is about. Not just how to stack numbers on a screen, but how to get to that first $100K so your life shifts from surviving to actually having options. We'll break down the map to get there. Before we talk about getting to $100K, we need to be honest about what life before $100K actually feels like. For most people, it's 3 layers of stuck. Layer 1. Bill to bill. Your mental calendar isn't built around holidays or vacations. It's built around due dates. Every week, the question in your head is, what's due right now? Minimum on the credit card. Rent or mortgage. Car payment. Electric. Wi-Fi. Phone. You're not planning your month, you're juggling fires. If I pay this one on time, that one will be late. If I skip this, will they shut it off? You're not BD with money, you're just constantly on defense. Layer 2. Shame and hiding. Because it feels exhausting, you start hiding from it. You delay opening emails from your bank. You see, low balance alert, and swipe the notification away like it's spam. With your partner or friends, you dodge the real conversation. Instead of saying, we can't afford this right now, I'm just tired and Let's do it another time. On a random Tuesday, you stand in front of a coffee shop thinking, do I really deserve this $6 latte? It's not even about the latte. It's about feeling like every small decision is proof you're either responsible or a mess. Layer 3. No margin, no risk. And because there's no margin, there's no real risk you can take. You stay in a job you hate because one missed paycheck is disaster. You don't move cities, don't try a new field, don't start that side thing, not because you don't want to, but because you can't afford a few bad months. You buy the cheapest stuff, tell yourself you're being smart, and still end the month swiping the credit card and whispering, I'll deal with it later. That's life before $100K. You're technically an adult, but it never quite feels like you're actually taking care of yourself. Now let's talk about why getting to that first $100K feels so damn slow. For most people, it happens in 2 phases. Phase 1. $0, $20,000. This is the part nobody glamorizes because it's painfully slow. From 0 to your first 5K, 10K, 20K, almost all of it is coming from you. But saying no to random target runs, picking up extra shifts, cutting subscriptions you forgot you had, driving the car you don't love but that's paid off, or cheap. You look at your account and think, I've been trying for months, why is this number still so small? Answer, because this is the steepest part of the climb. Your money isn't big enough yet to grow in a way you can feel. It's not your fault, it's just the math. Phase 2. $20,000 and $100,000. From here to $100K, it's still mostly you, but your money finally starts to whisper. Let's take 3 simple savings to investing scenarios, rough, just to feel the scale and not predictions. Put away $400 a month, and you're looking at maybe 15 to 17 years to hit $100K. Push that to $800 a month by Kikri, about 9 to 11 years. Get aggressive, $1,200 a month by earning more and cutting a couple of big expenses, around 6 to 8 years. That's why it feels like it's taking forever, because for a long time, it is. You're shoving bricks into place, one paycheck at a time, and the wall is barely waist high. At 0 to 10K, a $300 mistake hurts like crazy. It's a whole paycheck. I guess I'm starting over, again. But at $100K invested, a normal 7% year is about $7,000 in growth. That's someone else's used car, just from your past self being disciplined and giving it time. So if you've been saving and thinking, why isn't this moving faster? The answer is because you're still in phase 1 or early phase 2. It feels slow because it is slow. That doesn't mean it's not working. You're building the base that makes everything after this feel very different. Here's where the game quietly changes. Once you're around that first $100,000 invested, the math finally starts to feel different. A normal year in the market, let's just say 7 to 8% on $100K is about $7,000 to $8,000 in growth. For a lot of people, that's 1 to 2 months of take-home pay, showing up without you picking up extra shifts, without you selling more of your time. That's the first, wait, what? Moment. Up until now, it's been 90% you, 10% your money. After $100K, that ratio slowly starts to flip. From 0 to $100K, it can feel like pushing a car uphill in neutral. Every inch forward is effort. From $100K to $200K, if you keep investing consistently, you're still pushing, but now the engine's on, the car is helping. Same with a snowball. All legs, all lungs, all grind. Once it's big enough and you finally get it over the top of the hill, gravity starts doing part of the job. Let's put some numbers to it. Again, just illustration, not a prediction. Say you've got $100K invested and you're adding $1,000 a month. You stay invested for the long term, ignoring the noise. Over about 10, 12 years, depending on returns, you're getting close to $500,000. Not because you became a genius stock picker, not because you built the next tech startup, but because you've done the boring thing consistently, long enough, with a big enough base. That's the wow moment I want you to have. Oh, after $100K, my money can actually carry more of the load than my willpower. The goal is not to grind forever. The goal is to get the snowball over the hill. Your first $100K is the brutal push up the slope. After that, you're still walking alongside it, but momentum is finally on your side. If that snowball over the hill idea hits you, I'm curious, Carter. Where are you right now on that path? Drop a comment with your stage. Are you still pushing toward your first 10K, somewhere between 100K, or already past 100K and starting to feel the momentum? We've talked about the math. Now let's talk about the part that quietly runs the show. Your brain. Most of us are walking around with a survival brain running our money. Survival brain is built for one thing. Am I okay today? So it chases immediate relief. I'm exhausted. I deserve this DoorDash. I had a horrible week, and I'm buying something on Amazon. Everyone's going out. I'll just put it on the card. It's not evil. It's just trying to shut off the stress signal in your body right now. Survival brain also loves avoiding pain, but you don't open the email from your bank. You ignore the minimum payment due notification. You tell yourself, I'll look at my statements when things calm down. And they never really do. Then you build a story on top of that. I'm just bad with money. I have no discipline. Which makes you feel worse. So you chase more small comforts. Loop, repeat. Now, what I call the $100K brain isn't a different brain. It's the same brain, but with proof. When you've built that first $100K, you've shown yourself, I can do hard things consistently over years. You start discounting the future less. Instead of, it's only $50, whatever, it becomes, hey, it's $50 now. Or $50 that could go toward the life I actually want 5 years from now. Which one do I care about more today? Self-talk shifts from, I'm a mess with money, I'm someone who protects my score. I don't go below what I fought this hard to build. Before $100K, the script is, I deserve this, it's been a long week. Swipe without thinking. After $100K, the script becomes, I can absolutely have treats. Just not at the expense of dipping below the safety net I bled for. The point is, you're not broken. Your brain is just optimized for surviving until tomorrow. That first $100K isn't just a number on a screen. It's evidence that you can override survival mode long enough to build something the future. You can actually stand on it. So what actually changes in your day-to-day life after that first $100K? Let's zoom into 3 areas. 1. Work. From trapped to, I can walk. When you have some real money behind you, you show up to work differently. Walking away money doesn't mean you want to quit. It just means you could, if you had to. You're not swallowing every toxic comment from your boss thinking, if I lose this job, I'm done. You can say no to unpaid overtime that burns you out. You can push back. You can negotiate. It's a lot easier to ask for a raise when you're not negotiating from panic. 2. Family and relationships. From money fights to money plans. Before $100K, it's easy to end up arguing over every $20 purchase. Why did you buy that? Do you really need another one of those? The energy is, we can't afford anything. With a real buffers, the conversation slowly shifts to, okay, what do we want to prioritize this month? Let's plan that trip, but let's do it on purpose. You're still making trade-offs, but you're making them from a place of choice, not scarcity and blame. 3. Health and time. From postponing to protecting. This is the sneaky big one. Before $100K, a lot of people delay therapy, doctor visits, dental work panned, not because it doesn't matter. The bill just feels terrifying. After $100K, you can say, my money is here to keep me alive and well enough to enjoy it. You can take a mental health day without spiraling over losing 8 hours of pay. You can catch problems early instead of waiting until they're emergencies. The biggest upgrade after $100K isn't a nicer car or a bigger apartment. It's lower baseline stress. Less cortisol buzzing in the background all the time. That feeling? That's what real freedom actually starts to look like. Now, before we put a halo on this $100K number, we need to talk about how people accidentally wreck it. Because a lot of folks hit that milestone and then quietly slide backwards. Mistake #1, hurry bike. I earned it, now I blow it. that you finally see 6 figures in your net worth and the voice kicks in. I've worked so hard. I deserve something nice. Nothing wrong with celebrating. The problem is treating $100K like a trophy to cash in, instead of a floor to protect. That's when the "I've made it" car shows up. Or the luxury apartment lease. Or the giant vacation that lives on your credit card for the next 3 years. Mistake #2, red guy. Lifestyle creep, disguised as self-care. Instead of using your new stability to buy freedom, you start buying fixed costs, higher rent, bigger car payment, more subscriptions, and little monthly charges. Your life doesn't actually feel that much better day to day, but your burn rate goes way up. Suddenly, you're back to needing every paycheck again. Net worth might still say $100K for a while, but the margin is gone. Mistake #3. I'm good now, I don't need to track. You stop checking your net worth. You stop budgeting because it feels too restrictive for someone who's doing fine. And that's exactly when the drift happens. Someone hits $100K, signs an 800-month car lease, upgrades a few more things, and 12 and 18 months later, they're staring at their accounts like, wait, how am I back at $45K? You're not dumb, you're human. And the entire system is designed to sell you stuff the second you have breathing room. That's why you need a simple plan to hit $100K. Woo! And then, not torch it. Alright, let's make this practical. Here's a 4-step checklist you can literally screenshot. It's your path to and through $100K. Step 1, to plot. Set the floor veil. First, decide what $100K actually means to you. Call it your freedom floor. Not a finish line you touch once and fall back from, but the safety net you stand on. Then break it down into mini floors. Maybe your first floor is $5K, then $10, then $25K, all the way up to $100K. Write this rule for yourself. Once I hit $10,000, I never let my net worth stay below $10,000 for more than 3 months. Same idea for $25K, $50K, $100K. You're not chasing a high score. You're building a net underneath your life. Step 2, peel a cone. Build the gap. You can't save what doesn't exist. Your job now is to create a gap between what you earn and what you spend. Focus on just 2-3 big moves. Cut 1 to 2 big rocks. Housing, car, eating out all the time. Pull 1 to 2 income levers. Ask for a raise. Change jobs. Add a side income. Your target? A gap of at least $500, $1,000 month going toward that $100K. Move from solo apartment to shared housing? You might free up $600. Swap a pricey car loan for a cheaper car? There's another $300. Step 3. Hum, automate and ladder high. Next, get your willpower out of the way. Set up auto transfers into your investments or high-yield savings on payday. Then ladder your milestones. 1K, $5, 10K, 25K, 50K, 75K, $100K, and give each one an identity sentence. At $25K, I'm the person who can survive almost any small disaster without debt. Now it's not, I'm trying to save, it's, this is just what happens when I get paid. Step 4, Preskin Torm. Protect and use the surplus cash. Finally, make a rule. Money up to your floor is almost untouchable, unless it's health or true life emergency. Money above your floor gets split into 3 buckets. 50-70% long-term investing, 10 to 20% growth / education / opportunities, 10 to 20% intentional fun, so you don't feel deprived. If your net worth is $110K and your floor is $100K years, that extra $10K is your floating zone. Some goes to investments, some to a course or certification, and some can fund 1 or 2 trips you actually enjoy a ride, without guilt and without wrecking the foundation. So here's where I want to leave you. On the math side, your first $100,000 is like this. About 90% you, 10% your money. Year by year, that ratio slowly flips. You work a little less, your money works a little more. On the psychology side, Below $100K, your brain is mostly just trying to survive the month. Can I make it to Friday? Can I pay this bill? Around $100K, it finally has proof that long-term plans actually pay off. You're not just hoping the future will be better at blogging. You can see it in the numbers. And in real life? The real flex isn't the car, or the apartment, or the watch. It's being able to open your banking app on a Sunday night and not feel that pit in your stomach. So here's the choice. You can keep living one unexpected bill away from panic, or you can decide that your first $100,000 is the line in the sand where that version of you ends. If you want breakdowns of every milestone before and after this, 10K, $50K, all the way to 1M Dorf. If you're earlier on the journey, watch next. What your first $10,000 really buys you count that no one talks about. If you're closer to six figures, stay tuned for how people quietly wreck their net worth between $100K and $1M.